Char looks in no way ready to either eat breakfast or go on our daily state-approved WALK. I mean, she's awake, but she does not look ready. Watching Sean the Book Maniac's Friday Reads video, and Char is about to have a nap. Alright, I ran out of chili, so now I made stuffed bell pepper soup with red and green bell pepper and rice and crumbles and tomato stuff and some spices. Nom nom nom. Char is engaging in her favorite activity, nomming a stick. That's a big stick. Good girl. You get that stick. Good girl. Okay, it's Sunday. I have my second cup of coffee. Char and I just got back about 5 minutes ago from a walk around the neighborhood, which was like, I don't know, 1.1, 1.2 miles. And I have started Faulkner's Absalom. I'm not very far into it, but it has very long sentences, and I can already see that this is going to be a slow read, which I kind of figured. You know, Faulkner's not exactly known for being a pacey page-turner or anything, so I think I'm just going to have to read this slowly, so maybe about, 25 or 30 pages a day until I'm done. So yeah, I will check in later. Okay, so I'm in the first chapter of this book, and this woman named Rosa Coldfield, who lives in the same town of Jefferson, which is in Faulkner's Yoknapatawpha County, has summoned this young man who's about 20 years old named Quentin Compson. Is his name Compson? Yeah, Compson, that's right. Sorry, there's already a lot of last names. Sutpen, Compson, Coldfield, so I'm trying to keep everybody straight. Anyway, so she summoned him to her house to tell him about Sutpen, I think, who was her father? Not really sure. I guess he was her father. But anyway, the sentences in this are very long. So, for example, this is just her narrating. So she's talking about Thomas Sutpen. So she says about him not being a gentleman. No, that was not necessary, since all he would need would be Ellen's and our father's names on a wedding license or on any other patent of respectability that people could look at and read, just as he would have wanted our father's or any other reputable man's signature on a note of hand. Because our father knew who his father was in Tennessee, and who his grandfather had been in Virginia, and our neighbors and the people we lived among knew that we knew, and we knew they knew we knew, and we knew that they would have believed us about who and where we came from, even if we had lied, just as anyone could have looked at him once and known that he would be lying about who and where and why he came from, by the very fact that apparently he had to refuse to say at all. So yes, that is a very complicated sentence. So I'm kind of thinking that through these long, elaborate, complicated sentences, Faulkner is showing how Southerners, and maybe particularly people of the quote-unquote Old South, tend to obfuscate rather than illuminate in their language, but does not make for light or easy reading, that's for sure. Okay, correction. I just went back and looked and tried to figure out what the relation was between Rosa Coldfield and Thomas Sutpen, who she's talking about. And apparently he was her brother-in-law, it seems. He married her sister Ellen, I believe. But yeah, this is already confusing, like trying to figure out the connections between people, and I'm not even 15 pages into this book yet, so on I will press. Okay, I've made it through the first chapter of Absalom, and I've decided that what I am going to do is to keep track of these characters. So I've made a list and sort of put pertinent things about each character so far. And again, I'm only one chapter in, so I don't know a lot yet, but at least now I can hopefully distinguish between Sutpen and Coldfield and Compson and who's related to whom and who maybe did what to who and who's alive and dead and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, wish me luck. Okay, the random yoga generator has today given me 15 minutes of warrior workout / high intensity interval training. I don't actually even know if there's a video on the M3 Online that is only 15 minutes. There might be one that's like 20-ish minutes, so whatever. Anyway, so that'll be in addition to my 45-minute slow flow class at 4 p.m. today. So that's good. Hooray. Okay, so it's Sunday. It's not quite 7:30. Want to settle in and get some reading done, so I'm still working on the Big Jewish Book for Jews. I would like to get to, excuse me, about page 150 in this, and I'm also working on Britt Bennett's Passing. It's about passing. It's called The Vanishing Half. Lord, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I am a little over halfway into this. I don't know if you can see this, but it has 4 parts, so I'm on part 4. And I still need to, did I say it has 6 parts? If I didn't say it has 6 parts, then that's not right. So anyway, so I still need to read parts 4, 5, and 6. So if I keep pace with what I want to read in The Vanishing Half and the Big Jewish Book for Jews, if I keep up with those for the next couple of days, I should finish both of these on Tuesday. So, huzzah. Oh, I'll also add here that I've been enjoying The Vanishing Half pretty well. So part 1 of the book kind of focuses on Desiree, the first of the 2 sisters. The second part of the book focuses on Desiree's daughter, Jude. The third part of the book focuses on the other sister, Stella. So I'm curious to see if the fourth part will focus on Stella's child or what's going to happen. So yes, this is going well so far. Who's a good baby? Is it you? Who is a sweet, sweet girl? Oh my goodness. I have never seen such a sweet girl in all my days. I surely have not. I just came out from my live stream yoga practice in the other room and found Char like this, stretched out dramatically on our couch. Oh my goodness, big yawn. What a sleepy baby. Char, are you a sleepy baby? Shout out to the last of these little midnight snack tomatoes that my parents sent me home with out of their garden. So they're called midnight snack because they turned green and then they turned this sort of hard to see here, but it was like a sort of dark, very dark purple / almost black looking color, and then finally they would turn, after they turned that color, they would start to turn red. And you can see this one still has some of the darker part on it, but yeah, they're really good homegrown tomatoes. Yay. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna be honest. I'm supposed to read this book, Paris Trout, for the Barter Hordes Backlist Book Club. And we're going to start talking about it on August 22nd, which is Saturday. And it's Monday. And I still haven't started reading it. I've been kind of putting it off. And I have heard some not great feedback about it from people who have read it or have been reading it. But I am at least going to try it before I just, decide not to read it. So I'm going to give it a try, and we will see how it goes. Alright, y'all can read the beginning with me. Rosie, Part 1. In the spring of that year, an epidemic of rabies broke out in Ether County, or Ether County? I'm just going to say Ether County, Georgia. The disease was carried principally by foxes and was reported first by farmers who, in the months of April and May, shot more than 70 of the animals and turned them into the county health officer in Cotton Point. Okay, so it's Tuesday. I read 45 pages of this book yesterday. Char. Hi, you want to say hi? What a sweet girl. Go get your tennis ball. It's in your chair. Go get it. Yeah, it's up there. Anyway, I read 45 pages of this book yesterday. And I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I mean, I did not find it difficult to read. But it's from the sort of from the perspective of this 14-year-old African-American girl who lives in Cotton Point, Georgia, named Rosie, and she gets bitten by a fox, and the fox is maybe rabid, and so she gets taken to a clinic, and they sort of, wash her wound or whatever, but they're going to give her a rabies shot, and, because she doesn't want to get the shot, she says, okay, well, maybe it wasn't a fox after all, and then she goes home, and her mother is having some overnight gentleman guest, so I don't know if this is a lover she'd seen before, or like a one-night stand or whatever, and so yeah, and then her mother finds out about the fox biting her, and then tells her she doesn't want her in the house because she thinks she's possessed by the devil. I mean, what kind of sense does that make? It was really bizarre. Like, I didn't understand that part at all. And then she lets her gentleman friend, who's no gentleman at all, P.S., just take Rosie home with him because she doesn't want her living in the house, which I'm just like, are you insane? You're letting a grown man take your 14-year-old daughter home to probably rape her? Like, what the hell? So then he takes her home, and he proceeds to basically beat the shit out of her for no reason, and then one of the neighbor ladies comes by and is basically like, I'm taking this girl. Just try to stop me. And so she takes Rosie to go live with her. By the way, I'm not spoiling anything. This literally all happens in the first 45 pages of the book. So anyway, so then I'm just going to pan to Charlene down here for a second. Then she takes Rosie home to live with her, and then one of her sons proceeds to buy a car from the title character, Paris Trout, and then he tries to get Rosie to go on a ride with him, and she doesn't want to, and then she does, and then it seems clear he's basically gonna try to rape her, but then he doesn't. I don't remember why. And then on the way back home, they get into an accident, and he goes back to Paris Trout and says, I bought insurance for this car, so you have to fix it. And he's like, you haven't even paid me a dime. And then the next thing you know, Paris Trout and some other guy show up to their house and start shooting and beating people up and stuff, and then Rosie and the woman who took her in both get killed. Like, what is happening? I do not understand this book. So anyway, that was a long explanation, I'm sorry. So I'm going to try to read about 40 more pages of this today so I can get to the end of part 2, and I will check in again. Okay, so I did think this little excerpt from the book was interesting and sort of spoke to our present moment, even though this was published in 1988. In the morning, Harry Seagraves walked to work. He followed the sidewalks to the college, speaking to everyone he met, and crossed the campus on a diagonal to Davis Street, no doubt named after Jefferson Davis. His office was half a block up on the second floor of the Dixie Theater building, again a very, stereotypical Southern name. And you would never know, looking at the building or the offices inside it, that his was one of the richest and most successful law practices in the state. He kept it that way intentionally, resisting changes. The people he represented in the legislature as well as the courts liked the way things were, and worried in an unfocused way that they were somehow losing what they had, mostly to the federal government. Does that not sound familiar or what? Okay, so I'm almost finished with part 2, and something weird just happened to the lawyer character, who's Paris Trout's lawyer, Seagraves. And this is what it says, and I'm pointing this out because I kind of get the sense that this is how Pete Dexter feels about this story that makes up the book. So, his wife, stood at the bathroom door. He would have told her what had happened. He wanted to tell what had happened, but it wasn't like a story with a natural order and reason to the events. Lucy needed things lined up in front of her before she could see them. So I kind of get the sense that Pete Dexter feels like that's what he's trying to do here. There's no order and reason to these things, and you can't sort of tell it like a normal story, like it started here and then it finished here, and so maybe that's why we're getting all of these different perspectives. I don't know, it was just a thought I had. Anyway, I'll check in later. Okay, it's about 7:15, 7:20 a.m. on Thursday, August 27th, and I have 15 pages left of Absalom, Absalom. I'm ready to finish this. Okay, it's Monday, and I'm on my way to teach my 1 o'clock class. Surrounded by a cow pasture on both sides. There didn't used to be a fence, and apparently sometimes the cows would wander onto campus, and that would of course stop everything that was happening because everyone needed to go look at the cows. So, literal cow college out here. Here it is. Here is my school. I love my campus because it only has like 4 buildings, so it's pretty impossible to get lost, and I appreciate that about it. Also, I'm gonna say here that I'm super excited because in my African American Lit class, which is the class I'm about to go teach, this week we're reading Charles Chestnut's story, The Passing of Grandison, and it is probably my favorite short story of all time. So I'm super excited to go teach about that. Check in later. Bye! Okay, you get a tour of my work office. Very exciting. Ta-da! Have this lovely bookcase, a desk with a bunch of stuff on it. And another bookcase, and I've got my diplomas up on the wall. Hooray! Now I'm gonna close the door because you can only take your mask off in your office if you close the door. That's the rule. Whoops. Ta-da! Off comes the mask. Whew! Rough. Okay, hi, I'm gonna close out this vlog now because I'm technically in office hours and I've got some things I need to do between my 1 o'clock class and my 3 o'clock class. Also, just an update, I finished Evie Shockley's collection of poetry Semi-Automatic this morning, which was quite good. It was a 4-star read for me, but I'm also a little disappointed because that was my best read of the month and it was only a 4-star read, so I think I got really spoiled by 5-star reads over the summers. But hey, hopefully I'll have at least one 5-star read in September, who knows. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to close out this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all are doing well, and until next time, would it kill you to call your mother?